Dean Moore, so much of your scholarship and so much of what you've shared with us today has emphasized the importance of listening to young people, of attending to young people, of drawing forth their sharing of their joys, their sufferings, their wisdom. But it isn't necessarily so that a young person walks into a room and feels comfortable going to those places of vulnerability or intimacy. How would you counsel youth workers or mentors to nurture into existence a space where young people feel willing to step into that space by sharing?
I'd say three things. The first would be time. Young people are all different, and groups of young people are different. So you just don't do the same thing with everybody, and time is needed to develop a sense of trust, and you trusting them as well as they're trusting you. And time is needed for people to do their normal ways of relating before they want to jump in on something new and maybe scary. So time, and I think that means that you need to have time with people, with young people, that is structured and unstructured, that includes all different kinds of conversations, and that is guided by their own way of being in the world. So, for example, if a young, these are true stories, but I'm going to say them in general ways. If you're relating with a young person whose whole world is tennis, and they're really don't show any obvious interest in anything except tennis, then go to a tennis match, and invite the kid out for something afterwards or another day of the week, and ice cream or coffee, whatever the person likes, but enjoy, just hang out. And you're not going to have a golden conversation every time, but sometimes little moments of golden conversation happen in the conversation about tennis or about something else. It seems like it's not particularly deep, but it is. So that's one, it's just creating the time. A second one would be space making, and that is creating spaces where young people can be different, can do things differently in different spaces. So spaces that are serious, where you're really asking hard questions, spaces that are playful, spaces that are communal, and that you're doing something together as a community, but spaces that are more individual and small groupish. You need different kinds of spaces in order to probe in order to open the possibility of bigger conversations. Because one kind of space will open conversation or reflection for one young person, and a different space will open it for someone else. But once it gets opened and we're all together, then it gets open for everybody, or for most of the people who are gathered there. So the last thing, the third one, is creativity. Creativity is critical in youth ministry. Creativity about the different activities you do, and the options that young people have. So the people that you bring in to talk with them, the people that the young people go out and visit, the opportunities to do service in the neighborhood or in the city, those opportunities require creativity. And they do require listening to the young people, so that you have a hint about what kind of passions they have and what would really awaken them and open them to sharing. But not all sharing is verbal either. Some of the sharing is in action. Some kids don't actually want to talk a lot, or they are not at first, not for a long time, but they're quite willing to jump in and mow the lawn for an elderly person in the congregation, or protest at City Hall because of some kind of decision that's been made that is going to hurt the community, that kind of thing.